So Dana, told me like, hey, Sonny, I don't know anything about the crypto shit, right? But I know what you're doing, and I show him about the VeBetter, the ecosystem, the different type of application like Mockshot, Cleanify, and EV Earn, for how to connect with a Tesla. You're like, oh, I can understand that.
Welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast. I'm your host, Tony Edward, and today we're recording at Station 3 in New York's financial district. And my guest, the one and only Sonny Liu, co-founder and CEO of VeChain. Sonny, it's great to have you and to be doing this in person with you.
Oh, it's definitely my pleasure. I feel like having that kind of interview, it's so much different. It's better than the remote. So I'm quite excited in what we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of VeChain. I'm a VET token holder. And we've done maybe, 5-6 virtual interviews? So to do this in person
back
is a long time coming.
5-6 years ago, I think. Long time, huh?
Long time. When we were all virtual, I know in 2020, and then we kept it virtual. And I know you travel a lot, so it's really great to have you that you're in New York this week.
Yeah, I feel thrilled about this opportunity to meet you in person and also doing this kind of like a live show. Yeah. That kind of feeling. So yeah, it's great.
For sure. Now, we were both in DC last week for the DC Blockchain Summit. I missed you, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. We miss each other.
But the vibes were different, Sonny. The US is open for business when it comes to crypto. How do you feel about all this?
Yeah, well, I feel a little bit confusing. As many people in the crypto space, especially coming from, I would say, a little bit from institutions, coming from Wall Street or even from Europe. One side is the regulation side has made so much good progress, right? Mica just launched. And by the way, VET and VTHO, we just get confirmed by the Mica Compliance a couple of weeks ago. And then we're getting super excited and actually open up the door to many institutions. We're getting more interest like, oh, we wanted to, now we're able to invest in you or able to collaborate with you because of the compliance, right? Sure. So that's a good sign. And also, especially for the United States, since Trump hit the White House, it really changed the tones for everything, right? David Sachs now is a crypto and AI czar and holding the White House Crypto Summit, meeting those, crypto folks from the industries. That's a good sign. That's basically like, open up the door for every possibility, right? Everyone is looking at the clarity in terms of regulation so the whole industry can moving forward. But also on the other side, I feel like, we're still, let's say the entire crypto space are missing the real utilities or real life applications. Well, let's say we talk about the stablecoin regulation in US and even talk about we talk about the National Reserve for Bitcoin. It's a good sign, right? But eventually if crypto goes to, let's say, going to the next level, let's say, as we discussed a long time ago, we believe blockchain or crypto are going to be like Internet 2.0, right? And then it's supposed to be the technology to bring the benefits or enable some of the cool applications normal people can use on a daily basis, right? Not just crypto folks and doing the speculative trading only, so it's I would say people are more caving for the real life application even more, right? So that's what I feel like a little bit confusing. One side, people getting super excited about the regulation progress. Another side is like, okay, other than the Bitcoin, what should we look at? Or is there any real utility, real applications? We get excited about that. So that's a general market sentiment.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Because you think about if you and I both go out here to Wall Street and we talk to different people, are you using Web3 or blockchain in any way? No. What's that? Right?
Yeah.
It's not there yet.
Yeah.
We need to get to that point. Yeah, I'm using it to send payments. I'm using it to earn rewards on my daily activities, like what VeChain is doing.
Yeah. Well, everybody get super excited about what we're showing to. And also I got some of the real challenge. It's like, oh, whatever you do is great, but why we didn't know that? Like, how are we gonna promote about that, right? What's your marketing strategy about that? So, well, we have loads of exciting stuff coming up in the next few weeks, but I took it. That's some challenge we gotta do. Even though I'm very proud about what we have been doing and have been focused on the utility creation, real life applications, but still, I guess, like we have been working with UFC for a few years now, but we got to continue to do that.
Oh, for sure. I wanted to circle back. You mentioned the VeChain token, the VET token, and VTHO got the Mica Compliance. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that. What is that compliance like? Are they giving you the approval?
Well, this time I have to say, Europeans are kind of way ahead than United States. Well, we all know the reason, right? The last year was terrible. Even the beginning of the year, it was great with ETF approval for Bitcoin SPA. But, then the previous administration, even the Gary Gensler, that doesn't really do the good job, I have to say that, in a polite way. But the European actually way ahead.
Yes.
The reason we moved to Europe since 2020, 21, we kind of knew like there was something cooking, right? So that's why we moved there. We have been working very closely with the local regulators and find the right ones. Actually, we have been working with Central Bank of Ireland since we have quite a big technical office in Dublin, and getting easier, closer, with the local regulators and working on that. But still, it took us 1 year. And generally speaking, European Mica has, or we call Mica, whatever. There is 3 different categories in terms of regulations. The first category is called custodian exchanges. So basically, it's a similar offerings or regulation framework, right? Basically, you're managing assets for your clients, right? So custodian exchange sits on the first category, and second category we call digital asset service provider. So basically, like payment services, if you are offering like a crypto credit card or debit card, then you are falling into this class, right? And the third is as a token issuer, like us. So majorly, you gotta update your white paper based on following the formats, regulatory formats coming from the entire Europe. So, we have been very, very proud and also glad that and VSWOR, not only that and VSWOR got confirmed following the latest updated white paper, following some regulation requirements. And now it's kind of, for us, it's opened up the door. And by the way, MiCA we call it European passport policy, which means it's like when you get, let's say, Americans doesn't need a visa to go to Europe, but let's say if you need a visa goes to Europe, when you apply the Schengen passport visa, then you can travel to like all of the regions, most of the countries in Europe. Then you don't need like a specific visa to France or specific visa to Italy or Spain. No, you just need one Schengen visa, then you can travel around the whole Europe. Right? So the MiCA is kind of similar, which means you get license or compliance in one country, and then you will be able to serve, right now, the first scope is 27 countries. Wow. Serve the clients or doing the business engagements or expansions in 27 countries of Europe. And also even that scope is just a first scope, and they're still expanding. And more countries in Europe region applying to be included in the MiCA scope. So that's really good. Yeah. That means you don't need to go with all of the hassles. For example, like America, you got to go state by state, yeah. Right? And in Europe, you don't need that. You got a unified standard issues. Sure, every local jurisdiction, you might have a different type of requirement. For example, if you try to apply that in Italy, you gotta use the Italian language, right? Let's simply put that way.
Yeah.
But it's other than that, majorly the requirement is quite consistent across all of the 27 countries, and even still expanding. And then you are able to expand your business for the entire Europe.
That's great. And to your point, I mean, great insight, by the way. And in the United States, each state on the state level has its own regulator.
Yeah.
Like, for example, staking was available in some states, is not available in certain states. It's
That's a hustle. Wow. Like I agree with Elon Musk on this point. Over regulation kind of slow down the innovation, right? Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned the UFC partnership earlier, and I saw Dana White
wearing the VeChain t-shirt, right?
I love it. I got to get one of those. I saw Dana White do the video. What do you guys have upcoming?
Oh, lots of things. Well, actually, I met Dana a few years ago at the first time, but now following the journey together, we're kind of know each other very more than before, for sure. And we kind of grew up to be, let's say, to be a really good friends. So we even call each other like a brother, this brother Sonny, brother Dana, something like that. But what I really proud is Dana really likes what we're doing. Let's put it this way. And Dana told me, like, Dana is a very authentic guy. Yeah. I think even from the internet, from the public social channels, Dana is very authentic guy. Yeah. Right? He never lies about everything. I mean, I know, then I tell you I know this. I know how I do, then I tell you. If I don't know, I tell you I don't know, right? That type of thing. So Dana, told me, like, hey, Sonny, I don't know anything about the crypto shit, right? But I know what you're doing. And I show him about the VeBetter, the ecosystem, the different type of application like Mockshot, Cleanify, EV Earn, for how to connect with a Tesla. He like, oh, I can understand that, right? And then he like, I really like what you're doing, and I want to support you. I really want you to succeed. So, and that's let's say in different levels. Not only like, oh, it's just a sponsorship or just a exposure. No, in a different level. I would say, firstly, is about how to leverage with UFC fans. It's a huge fan base, right? Like 1 billion user across the whole world. Right. Second, it's about the possible business collaborations. We're going to work with one of the NGOs who are focused on the collecting plastic waste. It's called 4ocean.com. And that actually thanks to Dana's connection. And establish that kind of a talking and formalize a collaboration for us. Well, we can, honestly, we can use a dedicated session to talk about the 4ocean.com case, but simply say, we wanted to use the crypto blockchain technology to help the NGO like 4ocean.com. They have been devoted to collect, recycle the plastic waste from the ocean, saving the marine animals, clean up the water, those type of things. So we wanted to help them and to let's say to leverage with the crypto and the blockchain to help they grow and help they to expand to more people, to get the support, and even expand to more territories, not only in the coastline of Miami. That's where they're based, right? And outreaching more users from the community, outreaching even more business collaboration with the 4ocean.com. So that's the second category, like Dana can really supporting us. And for sure, there will be more. Just considering his connections, right? It's great. Knowing lots of the people, even the Power Slab, you can see he brings different type of celebrities, to the Power Slab, and then, it's about influences, it's about exposures, right? And we even find a very nice angle about a Power Slab, like what VeBetter DAO is doing is to incentivize people to do the good thing, right? And what about if you don't do a good thing, then you get slapped? Oh, I mean, not like literally you get slapped, but it's
right.
like, okay, you got to give you a sign, right? You don't do good, you should do good. It's about to incentivize people, motivate people in a different way.
Right.
Right.
No, I love that. And I love that he believes in the mission and the vision as well, because I saw in the video he put out, he talked about some of the initiatives of sustainability, cleaner environment, people living more healthy.
Yeah. Well, actually, people got misunderstanding about Dana White's perspective, or even his folks, let's say like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, or even Trump, right? They were saying like, oh, they're not sustainable guy. They're kind of against sustainability, which is actually not true, based on what I understand, including Trump, right? Actually, they're not against sustainability itself. They feel the urgency of the challenges we're facing as a humankind. Well, think about that. Even Elon Musk, the Tesla is to extend to, let's say, to using the recycle energy, extend the longevity of the humankind on the Earth, and SpaceX is even go to the multiplanetary. So he's definitely into this kind of the concept, right? But what they're really against is the way of doing sustainability. Well, we know some of the case, some of the corporations in the past use the ESG as kind of make it weaponized, greenwashed, right? That's exactly opposite what we're trying to do, because that's why Dana likes that. We're trying to do is, okay, cut the crap, don't talk, do it. The action is better than words.
Right.
So eventually it's back to the fundamental, like, everybody do something and then you should get rewarded, right? And I would say leveraging with Web3, leveraging with crypto utilities, and it will become a real impact to make differences, make changes.
Now, last time we spoke, you gave the example of like earning like the VeBetter token, doing certain things like charging your Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. Any updates around those? Any new type of scenarios?
We never stop working on that, right? And our mentality is like quick to launch, but we got to iterate all the way up. But roughly, we would say we're kind of driving for two aspects. One, everything is about the growth. It's about the growth means mass adoptions for getting more users who use that, getting more utilities of the token, getting more applications, those kind of way. So in terms of the token utility, we just get the Bybit listed. It's a number 2 in terms of spot trading volume. So we're able to leveraging with the Bybit platform to outreach to more users, all right? And it's not going to be the only one for sure. It's the first one, just opened up, but we're going to have a more exchange listed. That's kind of in the roadmap, but sure, we're going to need the support from VFAM, right? To work with us together. And that's in terms of the utility of the token. And also there will be we call it a better card coming up very soon. Better card, like a credit card. You can top up with better VAT, VTHO. And it will be not only to, let's say, for the Asia users or European users, even American users can be supported. Yeah, so you can go through the Better Card page, going through the KYC AML process, and then you can top up your VAT, VTHO, Better token even to pay for everything you want. So that's a very simple direct payment solution to increase the utility of the Better token. And also, even better is close the loop of the use cases, right? So imagine that the future user, they're going to a coffee shop to use a recycle mug, other than a paper cup, they get rewards. And next thing, you can use that kind of rewards, pay for convenience stores like grocery shopping, and because you're you are buying the fruits and vegetables and using the recycled bags, and you are getting more rewards. And next thing, you go to the Tesla supercharger, charge your EV, and you're getting more rewards. So it's like you pay, you get rewards, you pay, you get rewards. And basically, it's a full cycle. It's a full ecosystem, right? Then user were like, okay, I want to stay here. So I think it's I would say in terms of the mass adoption, lots of people talk about the mass adoption about a crypto. I would say there are actually two aspects. One is to onboard the user, right? To providing the social login or the custodian service to allow those Web2 users even are able to onboard to Web3 or Web3 applications. That's one side of the story. But also more important, I would say, is maintain the user or like let the user to stay. Keep using that, right? Eventually back to the fundamentals, which is the product is attractive enough. And people want to use the product, like internet. Let's say we use Twitter, we use Amazon, we use Facebook every day. Yeah, because there is some functionality I want to use every day. The product itself makes the talk, right? So how to keep the user stay is actually even more important how to just onboard the user. Otherwise, let's say, yeah, you do the best marketing, but people coming, they leave, right? So we even call it that's a farmer, right? Crypto farmers. So more important is how to keep the user stay. So with this kind of utility, and we're not going to stop here. We're going to continue to expand. Even there are some, let's say, very interesting projects coming up, like with smart devices. They want to launch it with the VeBetter token. Like you can use the VeBetter token to pay for those devices. While using the device, you can mine token by doing like connecting to your daily actions.
Any more details you can give there? Or not yet?
Not for now. They're still working on that. But yeah, there's
I love that idea.
But the idea is keep the user stay in the ecosystem. So you earn, you pay for, use that to pay for whatever your daily actions, right? So that kind of give a real rewards to the user. So that's one, let's say, focus we have been working on. The other part in terms of growth, basically it's about a user growth, right? Simply as a result or as our KPI. So far, VeBetter just passed 1 million users mark. I really get excited about that. Even though I never satisfied about this kind of result, right? We're still aiming to reach to 20 million user. So 1 million is really a good milestone for us. And we're going to continue to build on that. So the user growth is, let's say, as one of our target. Like I said, it's KPI. So we're going to continue to, drive the user adoptions, providing the better, let's say, tools, infrastructures to enable user, especially for Web2 user onboarding adoption. And the second part, like we just discussed, Dana is a freaking good marketer, right? And then we're going to try to leverage with him to help us. And he's willing to do that and to help us to outreach to more users, UFC fans, Power Slap fans, and even more than that type of assets. Dana is trying to bring more assets to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And I love both the UFC and, of course, VeChain. And there's just a big market there. And I think this initiative, as people learn more about it, they will be attracted to it. I'm attracted to it. And then I'm not saying that as a bias because I'm in crypto, but it's like, hey, if I go to the gym, I charge my Tesla, I do these different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? I would love to just passively earn.
Oh, yeah. There is actually an application linked to the gym activity is building up as well. And, I cannot disclose too much, but let's say even UFC are very interesting about this application.
Okay. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned you got the Bybit listings. I'm assuming there's other exchanges listings coming for the VeBetter token.
It's following the process. Yeah. Well, VeChain has been, doing that type of thing for the last 7-8 years. So it's just by the process. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about VeChain Builders, because I saw you tweeted out about this on X.
Yeah. Well, VeChain Builders actually is one of, let's say, our technical team member, basically in charge of we call DevRel. It's a developer relationship. So let's say I'm really proud of VeChain technology starting from the day one. I remember when we launched the VeChain Soul, some community members posting feedbacks after he reviewed the whole codes and tried to build stuff on VeChain. He said, wow, VeChain codes are neat, right? Very short, very brief, but I get super pumped about that kind of feedback. But still, let's say we wanted to organize a bit. There are too many things. You can see the VeChain activity, the developer activity is growing up like crazy. Last week even reached to a number one.
I saw that.
In the world, right?
Yeah.
So there were lots of things going on. So we wanted to get the specific position from our technical team, our CTO team, led by Antonio, to organize all of the technology knowledge base, documents, and even give, let's say, contents about how to build VeChain or how to catch up with the recent developments and how to, let's say, contribute to the VeChain technology sets. Let's put it this way. So that guy basically acting as not only himself, but also, entire CTO team is kind of acting as a supporting role to any developer coming from the community, like how to build applications, how to use VeChain to build the different type of applications. And on top of that, this year is a very important year for us in terms of technical upgrades because we are launching the VeChain Renaissance with the 3 cycles, 3 phases. Actually, we just passed the first phase we call Galactica. Galactica testnet just launched last week. And we welcome everyone to test, and we're running the audits as well. And the target day is to migrate to mainnet around like end of June, right? And then the second phase is Hayabusa. It's also a battleship name, but from Japanese culture. And then Hayabusa testnet going to launch in September. And then around December, then the Hayabusa goes to the mainnet as well. So there were lots of technical stuff going on. They will need more communication, more contents. So that's why we set up a specific role, lead technical team to bring more convenient contents and knowledge to the community developers.
Yeah, and you gotta educate the developers, let them know what's happening to get them to come build.
Well, I won't say like it's educate, because honestly, it's quite easy. If you just follow up the technical documents, you can easily build. But we just say try to bring the convenience to the developers, right? So we kind of make it more structured framework, and then you can go to one single place. You can get all of the details you need from the technical documents, and follow up through how to build the applications. And you can talk to the guy, come to our Twitter space, and talking to our DevRel team to even be more convenient. So it's everything we do on this side, it just ease the building process.
It's exciting. And tell us a bit about, with these specific, are they layer 2s? How do they function?
How do you know that, actually? You're really resourceful. Layer 2 is one of the plan. Okay. But let's say we will more like let the community team to build on that. Let's say layer 2 is basically acting as expansion to outreach, let's say, more than just VFAM, more than just VeChain community or VeChain developers, but onboard more developers. Even we don't actually mind. We want to. I still believe that blockchain should be inclusive. So is sustainability concept. Right? It's everyone's mission, right? So the layer 2, actually there is a community team. Actually, a couple of community team are trying to build a different type of the layer 2. should be coming up in months, I would say. I didn't follow the details because let's say, there are so many things to follow, right? But one of the, a couple of the layer 2, a couple of the community projects are actually working on the layer 2. Try to bring more, functionalities and also bridges, extensions to more than just VeChain community. I think it's the right timing. Because, as I said, this year, in terms of product level, is about the VeChain Renaissance. And the VeChain Renaissance going to have, let's say, more returns by staking that into the protocol level. It's more about decentralization. Sure. So I'm sure with this type of program, and you will attract more people. Like, well, you know how crypto works, right? Yeah. You got a high, from the user perspective, if you got a high returns, why not, right? I want to come in. I want to be part of the game. Right. So yeah, that's about that's following the VeChain Renaissance progress. We kind of expecting more people to come on to build on VeChain, providing more staking service, higher returns to the users. Then why not layer 2 as well?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. A question I just came to mind about the VeBetter token. As that ecosystem grows, would it make sense to have that token also go onto other blockchains where it's interoperable? I don't know if that makes sense, or we just keep it in the ecosystem.
I would say, why not? It's as long as it's about the use case, right? As long as you can find the utility in the use case, or let's say the other community find out, well, that's real life application. That's what we needed in the crypto world. And if we build something together, I'm sure you can figure out a way, to build that kind of connection. It's always about the user assets and user activities. Sure. And then, use case will be use scenario will be the like foundation for everything, right?
Absolutely. It has to be about the user and the utility. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about one of your very big partnerships, and that's with the Boston Consulting Group.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've been meeting with them. And anything new there?
Oh, actually, I was inviting them, one of the senior partner, Dr. Guy Gilliland, to come to this show. Unfortunately, his schedule is a bit, difficult to manage, like last minutes. I try to go with him as a crypto style. I just give him a heads up like 3 days ago. He was like, oh, okay, rain check. Next time. Yeah, Boston Consulting Group has been really helpful. Firstly, they are number two in the consulting firm, especially in the US market. They have lots of resources and lots of the connection with different type of enterprises for sure. And also they are driving, let's say, the new narrative to the crypto market. So they're more acting as like, okay, I'm not just supporting the VeChain growth or progresses or project expansions, those type of things. They're also running the narrative increase, narrative promotion, or try to drive like why the crypto market, what crypto market really missing. So they are kind of keep close eyes on the market sentiment and also driving the talks or conversations with the regulators, with a different type of partners, and then eventually pushing, let's say, abstracted narrative to the market. I think it's very important. So it's more than, for example, it's like every cycle we have in crypto, we have a different narrative or main theme, right? In 2017, it was ICO or IXO, those type of things. And then 21, basically driven by a DeFi, NFT. So what's next, right? What's next? So I've been meeting with BCG. I think it's the right timing right now. We should, BCG going to come up with some analysis, narrative building, and then I really love that. It's really about, following the fundamentals in terms of value creation, utility, real life application, that kind of angle. I think the entire crypto world needs that.
Yeah. And such great timing to your point, because here in the United States, it's opening up for crypto legislation. Congress is going to push through market structure legislation this year, stablecoin legislation. A lot of businesses are going to be looking to build.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's say if you are trying to manage a conversation with the regulators, right? So the regulator, imagine that. Regulators saying like, okay, we're different. We're not as the same as, the last administration. We're opened up. We embrace the whole crypto world. So what's your proposal? Yeah. What are you building? How do I support you in terms of from the regulation side, right? So you gotta show the real stuff, the real application, show the real value, how gonna change people's life, how gonna motivate people to do the right thing, that type of things.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been listening to different podcasts about what's going to motivate human beings moving forward as the world is changing. Certain businesses are finding it hard to get people to come back to offices. Certain people don't want to work in certain industries. Yeah. It's like this fervor has been lost. Yeah. What's going to be the incentivization? I think it's this token economy.
Oh yeah, that's a token economy. Well, I think there were two angles about that. One is, like you said, we try to drive a big change across the whole world, across a different culture, different language, different barriers, and the incentivization, it will be much, much better than just education or even the punishment, right? We gotta, let's say, don't underestimate the human nature, right? Especially about the dark side of the human nature. So instead of saying like, oh, you don't do this, please don't do this, don't use plastic, don't use paper that much, or don't creating the waste, or don't throw the waste into the ocean, or you get fined, it doesn't work. You gotta take so much effort to control this, right? Or to find this, we know that. So instead of doing this, let's do opposite way. Let's try to incentivize people to do the right thing, to do the positive, and eventually become a positive behavior of yourself, right? I give an example. This morning when I leave my hotel, I feel so bad because I didn't bring my mug with me. It becomes one of my routines or one of my behaviors. But there are some meetings running in the morning. I kind of rush the time and I feel so bad. I kind of hold the coffee until now because you have a recycle mug. I feel like, okay, I feel good to use that, right? So that's a typical example using the incentivized model to let's say grow a user behavior about that. So that's one meaning. The other part, I think even bigger, it's from the macro level. It's about what exactly we're doing is the tokenization of human actions or human efforts or human value, right? I think it's even more revolutionary change in terms of digitalization. We all know we're talking about we're going to live in the digital world. We are living in the digital world, and we will live even more digital world. Everything will be by data. Everything will, collaborating with AI, and data is AI's source, like a few of the AIs, right? So how are we gonna, build the future business model or value model or even monetization model, directly to say, from more and more data? Then you gotta go to the data, like original place of the data from the beginning. So helping to digitalize user actions, user efforts, find the value coming from user data, that's actually what we're really doing, right? Using and also following the Web3 spirits is user owns the data, right? You own the data, but how do you monetize that? How do you valueize that? You gotta, that's a very funny, very interesting analysis I did with BCG together. We debating each other and try to explore and going through the workshop. Think about that. Let's say one piece of data from one human being. It's not that valuable, right? You don't see the value. It's very hard to valueize that, right? I give an example. When you drive an EV, for 10,000 miles a year, you might result in like $50 CO2, $100 CO2. But, think about that. Even accumulative data coming from one single person, even lasting for 1 year, that value is still too small, too fractional, right? Not that, no one willing to buy like, okay, I want to buy your piece of data or pay for your data for even for a whole year. No one would do that, right? But putting together, like for 1 million users, 10 million users, 20 million users, even a billion users, then the value is going to be massive. But also the other challenge is, even you got massive value from this massive data, and how gonna distribute the value to everybody, every owner who contributing the data, right? If you go with the traditional way, like using the centralized platform to do that, and we already know like it's not that efficient, right? And also the platform kind of be the dominator in this ecosystem. They decide everything. So using let's say, in my view, the Web3 is really about empower each individual person, and token gonna play very important role as a value carrier in this ecosystem. And the platform, whatever is a smart contract or blockchain platform, just play their own role as an infrastructure, right? They will have their benefits as an infrastructure. They're kind of buried with the gas fees, the native tokens value going up, those type of things. But every individual user, by participating in this type of ecosystem and getting the value eventually from token value, that's the Web3. I would say that's the most likely the promising Web3 business model in the future. Oh, sure. So what I keep telling those enterprise partners, including the BCG, I say, whatever we're going to explore with the future Web3 business model, we have one simple principle, is we gotta have token in the play, token in the application, token in the system directly, not just for gas fees, but also for value carriers, value transmission, value sharing with the entire ecosystem.
It's fascinating. I'm so fascinated about the future of how all these things are going to work. And like you said, people being able to own their own data, their own activity, and being incentivized for all these things. It's just so fascinating. Are there other partnerships you want to highlight? Anything new?
You always been quite well. Actually, I getting quite exciting about let's say in the coming few weeks. We're expanding more in terms of again the two strategy, top line strategy priority for us. One, VeBetter growth to enable the ecosystem. I have to point out, building VeBetter is actually building VeChain, right? It's a value growing and executing on VeChain blockchain. You're gonna bring more value on that. So building VeBetter is actually building VeChain blockchain. And, we're going to continue to work with UFC, Dana White, and even all of his connection continue to expand for the growth and driving the mass adoptions. Right now, we just passed the first milestone as 1 million user. Next milestone, 5, 10, 20, 100 million. And eventually, my goal is going to 1 billion user platform. So that's one top strategy. The other strategy is about VeChain Renaissance. There will be some partnership coming board, because honestly, following the VeChain Renaissance, the real purpose is we wanted to address a very obvious challenge in the crypto world, is try to enable the real decentralization. What does it mean is, for the entire crypto world, whatever the POW or POS, when we comes to talk about a decentralization, even which is kind of cornerstone of the blockchain or cyber crypto world, right? But still, we find, let's say, in terms of execution or implementation, it's not that decentralized, because you gotta have enough technology capability, then you can run the nodes. And then you can run either miners or mining pool or POS nodes, right? And the normal people, let's say if I don't have, maybe you don't even have the technical capability to run some node, right? So how are you going to participate in the decentralization? How are you going to enable or secure the decentralization? Well, you got to choose, unfortunately, middleman, right? You got to give away your token to somebody else to run a staking service or pools. I'm not saying like it's not right. I mean, it's convenient, right? It's a service. But how can you make, let's say, ensure the decentralization? And then eventually you will merge or converge into several big dudes or big guys are running or controlling somehow the whole network, right? That's not right. So the VeChain Renaissance design is to enable the non-technical people, you can directly participate in the protocol level. So your staking will no need, again, it's open world. You can do whatever you want. But we give you the option, even you are not technical person, you can run a staking by yourself and using the NFT, that's a novel design. Nobody else is doing that. Using the NFT representing the VTHO staked, participating in the protocols, number one. Number two, your protocol rewards is not going to go through any middleman. You're going to go from, coming from the protocol level directly. So by doing that, you are really be part of the real decentralization, right? So that we call it the delegator role with the NFT. Upgrading from the current X node, economic node, you guys are playing the real decentralization role. I love it. So, and also by doing that, based on our calculation or simulation, it's quite good returns, to be honest. So there were many institutions. Well, that's actually the main purpose. I'm here in New York. I'm talking to many institutions. I gotta have a couple meetings this afternoon as well, and they are very interested about that. For firstly, we got a good narrative, fundamentals, real life application as the main theme in the VeChain blockchain. Secondly, the VeChain Renaissance is guarantee the real decentralization, and it definitely follows through, like a regulation compliance requirement, like Mica, even for the future US ones, it definitely follows through. Number three is also, generating quite good returns, whatever for the validators or even the delegators. We're talking about, from 7 to 15% even, that kind of range. It's just a simulation, right? So lots of the institutions are quite interesting. Like, okay, I want to set up the node. I want to be validator. I want to be delegator. I want to even provide that kind of service for my clients and participate in that decentralization together. So yeah, once we we have a few quite a lineup pipelines right now, and once they're on board, I'm sure they will make an announcement. Because they will make an announcement like, if I will run a validator, please delegate your NFT to me, right? And then we grow up together, earn the rewards together. Even the rewards is going to be automatically distributed by the smart contract, but we're going to work as a team, right? So every validator will disclose to the public saying like, okay, I'm running the validator, and please delegate to me, something like that.
That's amazing. And Sonny, you're just talking about institutions running validators and operating nodes, and it's going to be amazing because with legislation and clarity coming in,
in
the EU,
right timing. That's what I'm saying. Right timing. Yeah. Well, we just read about the news. Even the GameStop is like gonna spend 1.5 billion to buy Bitcoin. Yeah. And why not? Those traditional enterprise gonna go to even more, going to even further. To, let's say, going to the crypto world, not just buy and hold the Bitcoins.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting, Sonny. And, I appreciate the updates, and, maybe, we'll have another interview soon.
100%, 100%. I will be, thrilled to come back to have another conversation with you.
For sure. I want to end it on a fun question because before we were recording, we were talking about how good the food is in Italy. And I'm curious, what is your favorite Italian dish?
I would say the carbonara. It's a very nice pasta. And also, it's made by eggs in the natural process. Well, it's not that healthy per se, but once a while, let's say once a week, once 2 weeks, I really love that. So carbonara is my favorite pasta in Italy.
Oh, that's awesome. Sonny, pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you.
We got to have you back on soon. And this mic is in the way, but
Yeah.
really great stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.